Hi. As promised, it's 9 o'clock, and hopefully you've had the forewarning that I'm coming on tonight, because I've tried to put some messages out there, some posts, some messages on YouTube to say I'm doing an unboxing now, 9 o'clock in the UK, because I've got my hands on the brand new Stampin' Up trimmer. I'm rather excited. So I'm just going to give a moment for people to be able to find me and to come on and to say hello before we actually get into this box. It's rather exciting. So hello Kay and hello Martin. If you're wondering what the excitement's about, we've got a new trimmer in the house. Hi there Ellie, thank you for joining, and Levine and Ruth. If you want to share this out, you might have some crafty friends or people who might need a paper trimmer in their life to come along and see what all the fuss is about. I haven't named it yet. Maybe I need to see it first. You know, it's sometimes like a baby when you're like, you have a name in mind, but you need to see it first before you decide. So Ellie suggests Timmy. So we'll see. I'm just going to wait, just hold back just a little bit longer and chat away to give people a chance just to come on, because it's only just like 9:01. So hi there, April, welcome. So I'll just give you a bit of a background first, and then we'll get opening, get looking, get feeling, get comparing, you know. Trevor the trimmer. It needs to have a more modern, classy name. So, hi, I'm Esther. For those of you who don't know me, you might have never been on my channel before. Welcome. Lovely to see you. So my name again. I'm so excited. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, which might not mean anything to you. So it means that I get to demonstrate and sell and make using Stampin' Up products. Stampin' Up are a fantastic craft company based in America, but there's demonstrators around the world. So what's happened recently is they've had a fantastic trimmer that we've been using in our craft, and it's been great. And there was an issue with the blades, so which meant they had to redesign the trimmer and make a whole new one. So taking the elements from what I'm now going to call the old trimmer, and putting all those really useful, user-friendly elements into the new one. So I do have the old trimmer in front of me, and I've got the new one, and we are going to do an overview. We're going to look at it in detail. We're going to compare both, and you get the chance to ask questions. Now, I did notice a few of people did comment there. Yeah, Levine, I do have both side by side, so we can compare to the old one. Ellie, I like the name Tristan. Could be called Tristan. Maybe I should have a competition to name my trimmer. Let's get started. I can't hold on any longer. So I'm just going to swizzle you around. I might need to have you quite high. And let's put this light on. Hopefully there won't be too much glare or shadow. I'll try my best. I've got a few scraps of paper next to me. There is a bit of shadow, but it's going to have to... let me just see if I can move my light a little bit. Technical. There we go. Come on. I'm only just keeping you in suspense so that you know, I don't want it to keep knocking on my stand because it makes a rather horrible noise. Okay. So this is the old trimmer, this is the new one. Here are the blades, which I will talk about. Remind me to talk about them because I want to compare blades as well. This is the box. This is how it comes, a sturdy white box, and here goes. So it's just called paper trimmer. It gives you the item number and the details. Okay, you ready? You ready? You ready? Okay, it's going to come out. Wow, hello. Ooh. Okay, right, first impressions. Nice weight, quite light. Martin says he's tapping the hearts. You unfortunately don't have hearts on this channel. Great, okay. A trimmer's a trimmer, right? But let's get into some details with it. Let's feel the weight of this one. Okay, it feels slightly lighter, but a holdable weight. But you know, you don't hold a trimmer anyway. It's portable. Okay, let's just quickly compare the sizes. I would say it's ever so slightly longer. We have got details along the top of centimetres and inches. Then this arm extends out, which I'll show you in a minute. And at the bottom, you've got centimetres and inches. In the middle, you've got centimetres and inches. Then you've got the darker blade, which is always going to be your cutting blade, and your lighter one here, which is your scoring blade. Now, one thing I've noticed straight away is this really handy hole here. So if you're somebody that wants to hang up your trimmer, you can do that. But also if you want to identify your trimmer, you can put a piece of ribbon or something in there maybe to identify your trimmer. I like using this bit here to write down some measurements. As you can see, I've got some sticky labels on mine, so that's really handy. Okay, just shout if I missed anything. So it has got this finger lift here, similar to this one. But as I lift it, you'll notice it deliberately catches a little bit. So it's just got a little groove at the top, which will automatically, when it shuts, just shuts it down in place. So if I turn it over, you know, it doesn't flop open. With this one, that actually has a lock on it to lock that in place if you don't want that moved. But this one opens like that, whereas this one is more of a catch. So there's no kind of lock to put that in place. Sorry, just catch it. I never expected there to be so much to a trimmer. Oh my goodness, you have got no idea, Martin. A trimmer is not just a trimmer. Okay, so it's got the lovely Stampin' Up logo, similar colours. You've got your classic greys and whites. Okay, here goes with the extension of the arm. Okay, I'm pulling it out from the bottom. So you've got like a rest here. So this is kind of like half the depth of your rest, and it swings out like this. So it has quite a nice, when it comes out, it feels a little bit stiff, but that's probably just because it's a new trimmer, but it kind of feels sturdy, stiff but sturdy. And then this extends out further than this arm here. Right, so let's do a quick comparison. So on our previous trimmer, we're only going to 14 inches. This one comes out to 17 inches. And with this one, the buck kind of stops there. Hopefully, I hope you can see this. Let me just zoom you in. It's difficult to know what parts to zoom you in, but there you go. And this one, you've got that ledge there to butt up your paper all the way along. The other bonus with this one is I know that the ledge is all the way up here, so that you're, even with the smallest, oh, you can't even see where I'm pointing now. See, that's the trouble with zooming you in. If you butt up your paper here, I know that you know, you can put all your paper up there and it won't slide through, unlike this one that has a gap. Okay, I'm just going to turn this over, put the arm back for a second. So you've got your plastic plugs where you've got your sturdy feet, and the same with this one, you've got the sturdy feet on the extension. Now you don't have a flip out foot like you did with this one, because you don't need it. Okay, so you don't have that foot. You also may notice that there is some storage in the back of this older one, but this one does not have any storage. So I don't know how many people actually use the storage. I used to just store a few blades in there. Not the end of the world. I'm sure you can find some clever storage solution, maybe to pop it in somewhere if you really were desperate to put a blade. We can see if a blade maybe fitted along one of the grooves, tape it in perhaps, or find a way. Okay, so we will get cutting in a minute. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else to tell you. Have you got any questions so far? Now, one thing I did want to see is if the arm comes out, because I don't know why. I don't know why I want to know this. On this one, it does actually come out. I suppose for easy cleaning, I guess. Let's try if it, yes, it does on that one. So the arm just pops out for whatever reason. I don't know if they'll do replacement arms. I don't think you'll probably need one. On here there are inches. There was talk about possibly, I don't know if they, oh my nail varnish, so sorry about that. Possibly having centimetre increments also, I don't know. Do you have anything to tell us about the blades? Or is that going to come later? Yeah, I can talk about the blades. Are the measurements on the arm in inches or centimetres? Good question, thank you very much. they're in both, so you've got both increments. Now the very clever thing here, can you see that? My scruffy thumbnail is the measurements go right up, even on the grey part on this side, to your 16 centimetres and your 6.5 inches, which is probably what you're going to do. So the only one missing is maybe the 3/4 of an inch, I'm reckoning. The strip rubber that you had to replace. Yes, this one doesn't have a replacement strip, which I'll tell you about in a second. I'm just going to compare this back to here. So with this one, you had a dip and you kind of lost your way a little bit in between. So I'm really glad that the measurements go onto that bit there. So Levine was asking about this strip along here. With this trimmer, as you can see, this one's getting a little bit gunked up. There's a few ways that you can clean this. You can get something like a pokey tool. I usually get a pokey tool and run my tool down the middle like this to just clear the track a bit. And you can see the gunk on my pokey tool. Nice. Or you can get yourself a thick piece of card and just run it down the middle, and that also is a good way of clearing out the track. With the new trimmer, let's have another look. This is actually, I'm just double checking, it is definitely stationed in place. So it's not a removable track that you could take out or that will fall out. But again, you can just get your card in there and give it a good old clean out, or with your pokey tool. I do notice actually that the depth of the groove is deeper than the depth of the groove on the old trimmer. Anything else to notice? The measurements everywhere just seems to go up right as close to places as possible, whereas obviously we didn't have it with this trimmer here. I'm going to zoom you out a bit so that I can make sure that you are seeing what I'm seeing. But again, you can just run your card down it. Okay, shall we talk blades? Let's talk blades. So there's two blades. The blades, I've got this nice handy finger hold. So already it feels a lot sturdier. With this one, you held around, I suppose you held around both ends to do your scoring, your cutting and your scoring. So they're both designed the same. Oh, I've just noticed something. Have a close look at these here. They've got little embossed marks on them which help you to decipher. Look, that's like a little blade and this is like a scoring. And I've just noticed something else. Look, it's got these little marks on the top and the bottom and on the sides. Why? Because for measuring and for cutting and stuff. So like, you know, if you want to go exactly to, say you want to cut from 6 inches, you've got that mark there that can take you from there. Whereas with this one, you kind of, although you had the little pointy bit to take you there, it wasn't as precise. So, that's brilliant. That's very well thought through. So that's really handy to note on your blades. So yeah, you've got the sturdiness of that little finger lift. I suppose, you know, similar. This did have a finger lift. The blades are generally a little bit bigger. Now, I watched a demo show their trimmer off earlier. In fact, I was going to get rid of this grid paper just so that I had a bit of space. And about popping out the trimmer, the blades, compared to this one. So with the old one, you had quite a big gap down this end of your trimmer, and you almost had to kind of pop it out or unhook. It's a bit tricky doing it out by that. Unhook the, get it in the groove and unhook it, she says. Struggling. There you go. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Let me just show you that again. So you've got to get it in the groove, and sometimes it will slip out, and sometimes you can just push it out there and then just run it back onto the track. So with these ones here, it's similar kind of thing, but it's a much smaller. It's a bit tricky to see. It's right under where my finger is. So let's hope I can demonstrate this to you. Now, when they did it, it just popped out. Let's have a look. Yep, is it going to do it? I might have to practice this bit. Let's have a look. Is it going to work for me? Oh, there you go. Okay, right. Let's see if we can get a better view with this. Sorry, the lighting. Ah, look, isn't that cute? It's like an actual little roller on the end. Oh, that's so cute. Can you see that? It's not wanting to focus. So on this one, again, all you've got is like this tiny ball, which does the same job. Now, the trick is to get this thing back on. Now, which way does it go? It goes this way. Oh, look at that. That was just so easy. So that just, I think you kind of almost have to unhook it in a way. It kind of seems to hook in. So you kind of do that kind of motion, okay? And then you can swap your blades around. So some people like to have the score blade at the top. I think that's how I had it on that trimmer. And same, let's get this one out. Same sort of motion. It's like a kind of, when you get it, you understand. It's like a rocking motion. Okay, let's talk blades. Look at that bad boy. And let's show you one of these. Let's put this back and I'll get a new one out of the packet and we can talk blades. Now I've got to find that groovy bit. It kind of just like snaps back into place, and then, you know, it doesn't fall out of that gap. No, it just slides nicely along. Remind me to actually do cutting. I'm so enthralled with my trimmer, I'm going to forget to actually cut anything. I'm too excited about comparing. So you might notice immediately the difference. When you get replacement blades, you're going to get a pack of 4, I think it's £11. These were £5.50 for 2. So you obviously get a lot more to be getting on with, which is great. They obviously look different. Somebody asked, can you use the old blades on the new one? I think it's a completely different design. It's the track is completely different, so it's got nowhere for the hook to go on. So I think the answer is well and truly no. It's a completely different design. So that's obviously meant for the old one. Now these aren't available anymore to buy from Stampin' Up. So if you can get your hands on it, then all well and good. But why would you want to? Because you've got the new one. So these come encased here in 4. So, I'm going to compare blades. So this here, I hope that's going to focus. Let me just tap the screen. Can you see that tiny blade there? Okay, which it worked fine. I'm not trying to diss the blade. It's this style trimmer, a blade trimmer. It's not a rotary trimmer compared to this one here. So let me put it next to each other so hopefully you can get the comparison of size. Completely different, just a lot bigger blade, and you can see the sharpness of that. And hopefully, I think what I was planning to do is actually put a date on the blade. Excuse me, I've slipped out my hand. Put a date on the blade, or make a note somewhere of when I actually start using the blade, so I can see how long they last. I do cut quite a lot. I suppose I cut most days, so you know the trimmer gets used a lot. The new blades do look great. So let's get cutting. Let's see how that compares. So with I'll just refer it to old and new, it's easier. With our old trimmer, sometimes when you get cutting, when the blade started to get a bit blunt, I don't know if it will do it for me. It's only just starting to go maybe a little bit. It's not a very good example. You did have I don't know if you can see that. I'm not very good at demonstrating this, am I? I'm trying to show you the fact that when they get what's the word, used, and when they're ready to change, the edges do get fuzzy. And on this particular card, it's got an ever so slight lip to it, which you probably won't see on here. Thank you. Fuzzy edges. That's a good word. Fuzzy edges. Yeah, the exciting bit now, right? The actual cutting. I want to see if it works. Of course it works. So I've got some of our coloured card. Now, if somebody can give me the GSM, so paper is weighed in GSM, I don't know what that stands for, grain something something. I've got some, I couldn't find some window sheet, I had some somewhere, so I pulled out some glossy DSP to see how that would cut through like glossy papers. And I'm also going to layer up the card and the paper to see how much it's going to cut through. Grams per square metre, amazing, Martin, fantastic, thank you. And hi there if you're just joining us, and don't worry if you missed the beginning. I'm going to leave the video up for everybody to see. So see, I learned something new. Grams per square metre. It sounds very official, doesn't it? What else have I got here? I've got our Whisper White cardstock, which is kind of not really thin paper, not thick card, but as you can see the bendiness. I'm going to measure by bending the card. There you go. Welcome, Vicky. Nice to see you. And this is our thicker, more suitable for actual base of cardstock. Okay. So shall we go in with just the thick stuff? Let's do this. So I'm going to lift my arm. And the measurements here go right up to 3 and... Oh, it's going to test my 1, 2, about 1.5 inches. It goes up, I think, 1/2 inch more on this side, which is very useful because sometimes you use both sides of the ruler. So let's zoom you in. You get a nice, okay, and let's just go up to, say we want to cut 2 inches. Oh, guys, this is the first time I'm doing this on my new trimmer. Ready? Listen to the sound. Quiet, please, class. Oh, that was nice and smooth. Hello. Look, butter and hot knife. I was trying to think of the analogy. Hot knife through butter. Is that right? Sorry, I'm trying to get my light so that it was like, just cooperate, light. I'm trying to do a video. Okay, do you mind? Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Look, lovely, clean cut, and not very lovely, unclean fingernails. Sorry. Didn't have a chance to manicure before I came on. What was I going to say? I was going to say something then. Oh, yes. Obviously, because the blade is double-sided, it means that you can go this way and you can go that way. So you don't have to keep going backwards and forwards. The blades will cut on both sides. Okay, so one fair swoop. So I have no trouble pushing the card through. That seems to go through fine. You can turn it this way. So this is probably going to be obviously bigger than your 12-inch scrapbook paper will come. You can't see where I'm showing you. Sorry. Your 12-inch scrapbook paper will come out here. So anything beyond there, I don't know, it might cope with like A3 cardstock or something. So that's quite fun. Let's bring you down, see if I've lost any comments. I like that the plastic drop thingy is wider to hold on to. This, yes. And it's quite easy. It's got like a slight curve, so it's easy just to get your thumb under there and to lift it up. Oh, wow. It has the butt bars at the top so that when you cut increments, it does not go wonky. Yay. So what Louisa is talking about is this up here, the butt bars. These here, look. So you can go right in there, all the way along, nothing's moving. Whereas before we had that gap, sometimes your paper would slip. And I can do the teeniest, tiniest cut. I wonder if I can go smaller than that. Let's see if I can cut her. Not that you'll need to ever cut her. Okay, it's not. Oh, that sound, look. Oh, look, I'm going to get it stuck. No, that's even smaller than that. That is probably a millimetre. That's probably 2, well, not even, maybe 1.5 millimetre, that one. But look, can you see the comparison? No worries, it's fine. Call it what you will. I understood what you, as long as I understand, that's fine. It cuts 2 at a time also. So it cuts the tiniest bit of paper. I'm just going to try this glossy paper. I don't think it should have any troubles. So again, you just got that to push it shut to close it, whereas the other one you can lift. I mean, obviously you can lift this all the way, but it's a nicer movement. No trouble with, look at that, it's not going through because it's kind of hunching up there, but that's just to do with the paper not moving out the way. Okay, so let's double this over. So this is glossy cardstock, going to double it over, cut it. Yep, no problem, went through there. I'm going to fold it again. Might be too much, but for the sake of you lot, I'm going to do it. Look, I can butt that piece up there, no problem. It's just that it's folded up, that it's having a bit of issues under there. Okay, it's a tiny piece of paper. What do you expect? Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, that was a big expectation. That's fine. So it's 3 layers. That's quite a thick piece. Just fold it 8 times and then try. Yeah, so it'll cut through 3 kind of thicker layers. So what else shall we try? I thought I got some. Yes, I have. I'm going to try our bit of foil and a bit of sparkly. Now, they recommended with our old trimmer to have it face down to not blunt the blades. So if you are going to cut some glossy paper, no problem at all, no jagged edges. That's just the jaggedy from the glitter, not from the paper. Ooh, shimmer, shimmer. Okay. No problem with this. Oh, it just glides through. It's such a nice feeling when you've got, you know, paper trimmer that's just going to glide through like that. Okay, so let's obviously you'll cut the thin stuff, no problem. Shall we try scoring? Let's score at, I want to score it at 3 inches. So I could just put it up against my 3-inch mark. You don't want this blade, you want the score one, which is the second one here. So a kind of medium pressure. Yep, as expected. And crease that. Not left any undesired creases where you don't want them. So it's great for that. So you can use them for box making, card making, gift bags, for scoring. You can do rosettes. So let's go back and try reading the questions. The question I asked myself, what can I use my old trimmer for? Well, trimmers are always handy to have on standby. I'm going to use my old one for my classes when I want to go out and about, and have this one at home, I think. And you're a bit stuck obviously when the blades run out, but then, you know, it's worth investing in this. Now this is actually cheaper than our previous trimmer. I think this is, somebody tell me, is it £23 for this trimmer, which is a really good price point. Any other questions? Hi there, Bobby. Ellie says I've sold it to her. Fantastic. Any other questions? To be honest, I can't really see many downsides. It's quite flat, so it's great for storage. It's not huge and bulky, like some trimmers can be. £23. Thank you, Kay. If you're in the US, it's $25. Okay. So yeah, what I've just done is push the arm back and notice that I've not put it in properly. So just be aware that when you put your arm back, it just slides back into the slot and clicks. Okay. Now I remember somebody before mentioned about got reflection, the middle measurements. You know, what's the point of having that? Sometimes you know, if you are cutting smaller pieces or pieces about that size, I haven't got a piece of A4 to hand. Come on. Hold on, let me just grab a piece of A4. And this is our UK standard A4 size. So if you were to, let me cut this, I don't know what's the half measurement offhand, it's all on my old trimmer. I'm just going to cut there for now. No problem at all. So if you had pieces like this or up to there, you know, it's really useful to have those measurements as a guide, and then you're not kind of looking all the way up there and all the way down there. It's just useful to have that measurement in the middle. Sorry, I missed some comments. I think I will continue with my old time guillotine Stampin' Up for mass cutting, plus it has centimetres measurements along the side and inches. What's the underside like? 14.8. Thank you, Kay. I'd already done it. So the underside, we spoke about the underside earlier, it doesn't have any storage, it just looks like that, but you've got your rubber feet to hold it in place. So yeah, I mean, obviously if you're cutting, let's see, let's just cut this down randomly. I'm not going to be too careful about measurements because we just, so this is 2 of our coloured cards. Let's see if it will, yeah, it does struggle through 2 lots of thick cards, so, you know, just bear that in mind. But on the thinner stuff, I'd imagine it'd be no problem to do mass cutting if you were cutting 2 lots of this one. Let's have a go. There, no problem at all. Right, thank you so much. Is there any more questions or anything you want to see about my new trimmer before we go? So let's bring back the old one. This is well and truly loved. It's got glue marks on it and I've got washi tape and everything. Oh, is that one reflecting? That's fine. Let's have a see if I can get that not reflecting. Any more questions? It's just nice to finally get your hands on it. Does the centre bar lock like the old one? It doesn't have an actual lock on it like this one does. So this one actually locks, so you can't actually physically move it until you unlock it, and that will then just swing open. This one doesn't have like an actual lock per se like this one, but it does have that kind of mechanism where it catches into a groove and then there's tension there to flick it. I hope that makes sense. You're welcome, Kay. I hope it helps. How strong is the plastic arm compared to the old one? It's wider, so I think you've got a bit more to work with. This one, you can see me bending that, you know, that particularly that second arm there is a little bit more bendy. This one, not as bendy, but as I said, you've got a bit more. It's a wider arm anyway. Feel like we all need Stampin' Up continuing education units for your videos. Thank you. If there's something else you want me to do a demo on, I'd be most happy to. I'll just hang back for a few seconds to see if there's any other questions. I really appreciate you watching this. Thank you if you're catching me on replay. Sorry about all the glare from my lights and my, you know, you got to work with what you got sometimes and not let it hold you back. Is there anything else I want to say before I go? I'm just looking forward to using it, and it means that I've now got a spare trimmer to take out and about. Actually, another just quick comparison here is the height. This is a lot flatter because you don't have the bulk of the storage, I guess. Although it doesn't, I don't know if you can actually see that, but that definitely sits flatter than this one here. Okay, folks, I think that's everything. I won't keep you any longer. It has a better footprint. Yeah, so that's the new trimmer. So, you know, if you want to get your hands on it right now, you can sign up and be on my team. That's the only way you can get your hands on it right now. Oh, Martin, yeah, come and join my team and you can have one. So you can have this trimmer as part of what's called your startup kit. So you get to choose out of a big range of stuff. You're not limited as to what you actually have to buy for your startup kit. It's up to you for £99. So your trimmer can be included in that price of the £23 for your trimmer. What else is there to say? And you get more for your money. So for your £99, I think it's £130 worth of goods. You get to be part of my team. And you can buy the blades as well. We don't know when it's going to be available to customers yet. So I thought I read somewhere that it was going to be available in November, but my bad, hands up, made a mistake, and they didn't actually say it was going to be available in November. It just depends on stocks, you know. Some people go wild about new things, don't we? So just missing a few comments. Bobby's getting his on Monday, hooray! Oh, Kay says, Esther, it's an awesome video. Thank you. And thank you, Ellie, for agreeing. I hope that helps. And I hope it helps you to decide whether or not you'd like this trimmer. Hopefully you do. Take care. I'm going to let you go. And thank you very much for your time. Do subscribe to my channel. If you press the bell button, you'll get notifications when I come live. I come on occasionally on YouTube, and I'm on Facebook and other social medias. You can shop at my shop at stampinstarcreations.co.uk. I felt a little jingle coming on then. Take care, everybody. Have a good night, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, wherever you're coming in from. Ta-ra for now. Bye. He doesn't want to sign out. Bye, everybody. Right, let's try again. Bye.